So
here we go. So we're going to start a clip here with Suze Orman talking to a fan that's asking her some financial advice.
Kathy,
Yes.
Commentas from Waterford, Connecticut. You have a question for me.
I do. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Kath.
okay.
Yes, I sold everything in January. I couldn't take it. My stomach was in knots.
Then why are you sighing, girlfriend? January was many months ago. You actually got out pretty close to the high. Remember, the high of this stock market was October 9th or 10th of 2007. We're at 14,000. In January, that was the most brilliant thing to do. So why are you so upset?
Well, because now I don't know what to do with it. It's sitting there in a cash investment trust account in my 401k.
Yes.
And I don't know what to look for in the market to get back into the market. When will the time be right? How do you know when you've hit the bottom, and how do you know what to get into and what's safe and what you can stomach?
All right, so here's the question for you. You're how old?
50.
All right, you're 50 years of age. How long do you think you have before you reach?
So that kind of just sets up where we're at, right? We've got this lady, Kat, right? Right? That's her name?
Kathy.
Kat. So we got this lady, Kathy, right? And
she's 50.
She's 50. She's in the market, right? And then she pulls out just before, well, a couple months before it goes real bad.
Basically at the perfect time.
Perfect time.
Yeah.
Right? And so she's got a really good problem to have here. She's got money that is now in a safe location that didn't get hit by what most people experienced in 2008.
And it's funny to hear her talk about her experience before she got out. The reason that she got out is because she couldn't stomach it anymore. She couldn't handle that. She probably wasn't sleeping at night because she didn't know what her money was going to do.
I wonder what it would have been like if she had left it in another year. She would have really been sick to her stomach.
Well, yeah. So let's jump ahead to where she answers her question.
What I would be doing if I were you is I would be dollar cost averaging back into the stock market.
The one thing I want to point out here, right, is she says the words,
what I would be doing if
I
I were you.
would be doing if I were you. What I would be doing. Okay, let's keep it going.
What I would be doing if I were you is I would be dollar cost averaging back into the stock market at this point in time, but I'm not sure I would be doing it 25%, 25%, 25%. I would be doing it since you got out of the market and you've been out for a while and we don't know if the markets are going up or down from here. I would be doing whatever amount of money that you have on the sidelines. I would be dividing that amount of money by 12. Let's say it's $120,000. If you divide it by 12, that's $10,000. I would be putting $10,000 a month back into the market over this next year.
That's all her money.
I would be dollar cost averaging that way. If the market goes down, that $10,000 buys more shares, because when the market goes down, the price per share of whatever you're buying normally goes down. The more those prices go down, the more shares you're able to buy. If the prices go up, the less shares you're able to buy, but your dollars actually average over time, and no matter what happens, whether we go up or whether we go down, you will be okay. The biggest mistake that you will make is if you stop contributing to the stock market at this point in time within your 401k. Now is the time to continue every single month to be putting that money into the stock market. In fact,
so
go ahead.
So I just
what's the key word there?
Well, there's a lot of key words there, but I'm going back to what this lady says, Kathy. I couldn't stomach it. And now the advice she's getting from this quote-unquote professional is to what? Go right back at it with all of your money. And over the next year, stick all of your money right back into the place that you couldn't handle and is why you got out.
And she says, and this is the key word to me, is, well, maybe we'll have to replay it to get the exact quote here, but the biggest mistake you will make is to not put your money back in the market.
Well, and this idea of dollar cost averaging, it's such a great way to sell this idea, because That is if the market goes up, you're making money. If the market goes down, you're buying more shares. So how could you lose?
Right.
But realistically, if the market's going down, you're losing money. I mean, on the shares that you've already bought. And the idea is that it's going to go back up, it's going to go down. But realistically, then you have for a year at least a percentage of that money, if you'd have to do the math over every month, but you're losing out on whatever that money would have grown to every time. So you're basically spending a year to get your money back in.
Yeah, it's a way to say, oh, the losses aren't bad, right? It's a way to kind of cover the impact of those losses by emphasizing the fact that, oh, actually you're just going to get those purchased at a
you're
better.
Guaranteeing yourself an opportunity cost lost. And I know maybe that's too deep to get into, but you're guaranteeing that year you're going to lose out on a majority of what their money would have grown to in that year.
Yeah.
Well, you got to imagine that most people that, this is an average lady, I feel like, that's got a 401k, and most people out there that get financial advice are probably being fed some of this dollar cost averaging idea. So there's got to be just thousands of people out there implementing the same concept. Why don't we have more millionaires from people that have invested in the stock market?
From diversification. Why doesn't everybody have a 401k just retiring early?
Yeah, that's what and that's the thing is it all sounds so great, but it doesn't work. You know what I mean? This lady, she hit this at the perfect time, right?
She got lucky.
She did. I mean, I'm not under. It's unfortunate
she
that
made some good decisions.
Yeah, she made good decisions, and it's good that she got to that point, but it was just a matter of luck, really. Had she ended it a couple months later, she'd have taken a huge hit out of that. And that's what we all face, is inability to predict what's going to happen in the future. And so they have all of these ways of, oh, this is good because of this. You just buy more shares. It'll all average out. That's just really not what happens. It doesn't work in your favor that way.
Yeah, and let's just kind of play a what-if scenario. If Kathy had called Suze after maybe she decided to leave that money in for 5-6 more months, and she got hurt really bad, and then she called Suze Orman, what do you think Suze's advice would have been then?
Well, here I'll one-up you there. What if she would have talked to Suze Orman before she took her money out and said, hey, what should I do? And Suze said, keep it in the market, right? Put more in. Dollar cost averaging, she'd have taken a huge hit on her money.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really just a way of saying, look, let's mask the impact of it. But anyway, let's kind of move on from that.
Yeah.
And the reality is that's a very it's a scary advice, to just continue to keep putting money in the market. This lady, Kathy, she's been in the market just like thousands and thousands of other people out there are right now, and it made her stomach turn because it's not a pleasant experience.
There's no control.
It's becoming less and less pleasant, and there's a number of reasons why it's not an attractive thing to be, a part of right now. But just look at the last 10 or 12 years, and people have been riding a roller coaster with really with no reason to be doing so. Nothing to show for it, I guess, is the way to say that. But
let's backtrack, and Jake emphasize this a little bit. It's the key word of what I would be doing if I were you. Suze says this.
Well, let's ask her.
And that's really what
let's ask her. Actually, I know someone that can. Can we get a name on this? Anybody? Let's see if we can get a name on here.
Somebody asked her that very question.
Someone's just as interested as us. Deborah Solomon. Deborah, Deborah from New York Times. Thank you.
Sat down with Suze.
She sat down with Suze, asked the questions